let's just say the shutdown, a prospective shutdown goes on for 30 plus days, which is entirely plausible.
Sure.
At a certain point, Senate Republicans might just say, we're tired of this. Let's just change the filibuster rules so we can pass a clean CR, meaning last year's spending level.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering this week and where the story's going next. I'm Jim Antle, and I'm joined today by magazine managing editor David Mark. And David, possibility of a government shutdown coming, or at least a partial government shutdown. Certainly in the past, those have proven to be pretty politically significant, even when fairly short-lived.
Right, and it's always tough to predict who might win and lose. I hate to use those precise gamesman-like terms because it's people's jobs and lives we're dealing with here, but it's just very unpredictable who gets blamed, particularly in a new kind of media environment where the first major one was, going on 30 years ago now,
right,
after Republicans had taken control of Congress about 29 years ago, and they fought against Bill Clinton. He effectively came out ahead on that one, and they didn't get the kind of spending cuts that they were looking for. They were seen more broadly as losers. That was a different media environment where the then Clinton White House could command the media coverage, decide what agencies to shut or keep open.
Right.
It's still the case with the Trump administration, but it's not clear at all how this is all going to go out, particularly with tight margins in the House of Representatives.
So, I mean, you talk about the gamesmanship, and there is, just as a matter of fact, an element of gamesmanship that goes into this, and usually one party or the other has certain asks that it's looking for when they allow the government to shut down or they don't pass the funding bill, or there is some overarching political point that they're attempting to make.
Right, and Democrats seem to be coming around to it. It's not exactly clear what their ask is, but it seems to revolve around some health care subsidies regarding the ACA, promises that the Trump administration would not engage in rescissions of federal spending, which sounds like a process issue, but it's basically clawing back money that they've already agreed to, and a couple of other things. The problem for the Democrats here is you can't really bluff. You either go all in and be prepared to go over the cliff, and this could last weeks, could last month. The last time Trump was in office, the government shutdown with the Democrats taking control of the House lasted well over a month or so. And of course, the Trump administration has wide discretion over how to kind of manage the shutdown. So there are a lot of variables. It only seems like Democrats have decided they're all in. Their kind of left-wing activist base is pushing for resistance against Trump. And I think the leaders there, Senator Chuck Schumer, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, just didn't have any choice, whether they personally think this is wise and prudent.
Right. I mean, in the past, the conventional wisdom has been that Democrats generally win these shutdown fights. They are the party of government. Republicans are associated with government spending cuts, whether that's a fair assessment or not, can certainly be debated. But as you say, it is a different media environment, and things that might have been true in 1995 or 1996, or even in the Obama administration, may not still be true today.
Right, and there's in a sense, Democrats are always going to be at a disadvantage because they're asking for something affirmatively. They're trying to get the government to do something, which they can spin it and make it themselves like, sound like we're just trying to protect health care, this or that. Republicans are generally, just let's not spend as much money, have lower taxes, etc. Democrats have an affirmative ask, and their activist base really holds them to this, like fair or not, good or bad. They really care about the policy issues, and they are going to really be upset if those healthcare subsidies are not returned or the rescission spending is not undone or whatever the other asks might be.
Well, they don't really control anything, the Democrats. They still have the numbers to filibuster in the Senate, but they don't. This frequently happens in divided government. Now, on the other hand, if we have shutdowns and dysfunction, the Democrats can say, we don't control anything, and the Republicans should be able to just do this.
And there's part of me that thinks the ultimate goal here is procedural, that Senate Democrats specifically, are trying to maneuver to get Republicans to change the filibuster rules. This is just a hunch, but having reported on enough of these, spent some time on Capitol Hill, let's just say the shutdown, a prospective shutdown, goes on for 30 plus days, which is entirely plausible.
Sure.
At a certain point, Senate Republicans might just say, we're tired of this. Let's just change the filibuster rules so we can pass a clean CR, meaning last year's spending level, which once you get into changes, legislative changes on the filibuster, it gives the other side an entree.
Sure.
And that would give Democrats, they would be able to say the next time they're in power, hey, you changed the filibuster rules. That's what we're doing. It's kind of like President Abraham Lincoln kind of maneuvered the South into firing the first shot of the Civil War at Fort Sumter. Might be a little bit of an extreme example, admittedly. It's not war and peace, but that could be part
Harry
of the
Reid
calculus.
and Mitch McConnell had always had this kind of gamesmanship with one another.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
knowing full well the other side will ratchet it up a notch, and so you kind of force the other side to play the bad guy. That's one thing I'm really keeping an eye out for. Was also it's not whether Senate Republicans want to or not. You've got to imagine President Trump, at a certain point, probably it's not going to take very long, is going to start saying change those filibuster rules, which he's already done in the past. They've rebuffed him and ignored him, but it could be a little different this time.
Definitely. Well, thank you, David.
Thank you.
You can read David and the rest of our magazine team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.